Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I am here to review the Season 2 finale of The Mandalorian, Episode 8, The Rescue. Now, this is going to be full spoilers because there's barely really anything in this that could really be done. Now, if I had to give you a non-spoiler review of it, I would have to say that it's exactly what you think it is. It is the Mandalorian going to rescue Baby Grogu from Moff Gideon, finding a way on that ship, and finding a way to get his hands on Baby Grogu. If I had to give you the non-spoiler-ish, version of it, that's about it. I would give this episode a 9 out of 10. I don't think I enjoyed this. I thought the season finale was great. I think it's on par with last season's season finale. But overall, I don't think this season actually is better than last season. No, it's okay. This season is slightly better than last season. It's not like night and day. It's not like what's the word? It's not like Thor Dark World and Thor Ragnarok. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than that. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh my goodness. It's you know what I mean? It's not like night and day better. It's a tad bit better. To me, it's like the Dark Knight to the Batman Begins. It's like, okay, like some people are going to think that the Dark Knight is vastly better than Batman Begins. But personally, I think the Dark Knight is just a tad bit better, and that's just because it has a much stronger villain. But this season overall was great, but I'm just going to really talk about this episode. I'm going to wrap the whole season up in one big review later, but for right now, I'm going to focus on this finale. It was great. And to get into spoilers, holy shit, Luke Skywalker, people. Luke Skywalker showed up in this show. I did not see that coming, honestly. It's one of those thoughts that is in the back of your mind, but you kind of go, well, they can't do that. Because you know how old Mark Hamill is. You know how Mark Hamill's kind of pretty much said that he's like, I don't really want to come back and play Luke. This is the last time I'll play Luke, not that long ago. So you kind of like, okay, well, that's it. He's not going to really do anything. But my word, near the tail end of this episode, which was already a great episode up to this point, and already set up some threads, a couple threads. Near the tail end of this episode, man, it was pretty abundantly clear that they were all gonna die. Like they were trapped in the controls, in the cargo, like the cockpit. They were like trapped in the decking area, and the dark troopers were coming, and these dark troopers are nothing to fuck with. Like earlier on in the episode, Mando he barely survived fighting one of them. I mean, that one was fucking Mando up. I mean, he basically had to use everything in his ability just to take out one of these things. And as you saw, so I don't know how strong that armor is, but freaking blaster bolts were just flying right off the damn thing. So a platoon of them, were coming after them, trying to punch through the heavy door. I mean, that's how powerful these things are. The two of them can punch through those heavy-ass doors. I'm talking about those doors that, if you watch Clone Wars, you saw that they need, huge beams, and, it took forever for them to, cut through one, and then they had to cut through the other one. They're just punching right through them. That's how strong... Sorry. That's how strong these things are. So, things are looking dire. Things are looking pretty freaking bad. And then, an X-Wing pulls in. Even then, I was like, that can't be Luke. They can't. How are you going to do this? And then he got out of the ship, he had a cloak on, had a black cloak on, I'm still like, I don't think that's Luke. And he's fighting with, it's a dude, and clearly he's fighting with one hand, and clearly he's fighting with one lightsaber, and I'm still like, because at first I was like, maybe it's Ahsoka, and then it was like, okay, no, it's a cloak, and he has one lightsaber. Then, when they actually showed the fights with him, these awesome fight sequences with him and these Dark Troopers, which, by the way, just made Luke look like a bad motherfucker. Like, you already knew Luke was a bad motherfucker. They just couldn't really show that in those old movies because, they didn't have the technology nor the choreography that we do today to really show, what a Jedi probably would have fought like. And but now, that they do, you really see Luke, how this version of Luke is almost in stark contrast with the one from The Last Jedi. This version of Luke almost shows, this is the version of Luke that fans have had in their heads. The fans imagine he was. Like, the fans imagine Luke was this badass dude who could show up on a ship and take out take out an entire platoon of the strongest weapons of the strongest droids that the Empire has. I mean, at a certain point, he straight up just used the Force. By the way, remember, these are the droids that Din Djarin and the Mando was having a hard time just taking out. These are the droids that, he's blasting at this one thing and it's bouncing off and it can't even pierce the armor. These are those droids. And he's just freaking he crushed one of them with the Force like it won't nothing. I was like, damn, this is the Luke Skywalker we've all been waiting to see. But I digress. Now that I think about it, because at first I was really upset that the pulse rifle got destroyed, because that rifle has kind of become a staple of the Mandalorian. It's kind of like a thing that I identify when I see that rifle. But, oh, that's the Mandalorian's rifle. So it was sad to see it go. But now I know why. Because that pulse rifle has a huge, has enough electricity, shoots off enough electricity to take out to freaking stun huge, massive creatures. I can only imagine these things, these droids run off of these droids take up so much power that they can't even be on. They can't be on the ready. They have to be powered up. They have to be powered down. That's how much power these droids take to move. So I can only imagine if Din had the pulse rifle, he probably could have shocked a couple of them and destroyed them and just screwed all of it up. He probably could have shocked them. He probably could have shocked him if he had his pulse rifle. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, that's probably why they got rid of the pulse rifle too, because it would have been too easy for him. He could have, like I said, I think he probably could have shocked him and took him out. Hopefully he gets another pulse rifle in the next season. But yeah, this was crazy, dude. From start to finish, even at the beginning with this, when they took over this Imperial ship from this. And found Dr. Pershing, the guy with the glasses who was in the first season and showed up on that little little projector thing and was talking about baby Grogu's M count. That little guy with the glasses who's apparently worked in the cloning. They found him on this ship and they took over the ship. But it was a really dark moment where one of the Imperialists, one of the pilots was just he was so dedicated to the cause, and at the point he was just spouting off this stuff at Cara Dune about how Alderaan deserved to die because they were harboring, terrorists. They were harboring terrorists, and the planet deserved to die. And you should feel bad about what happened to the Death Star. You know how many millions of people died on those Death Stars? Still blurring that line. They still continue to blur that line, and you still continue to see how some people can feel the way they do about, the Empire, how some people can be that dedicated. By the way, that actor who was portraying that Imperialist, that Imperial pilot, was also in the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I keep calling him fake Evan Peters. Because you know what Evan Peters is? Quicksilver from the old X-Men movies. Quicksilver, and he's been in a lot of things, but Quicksilver and Kick-Ass, that guy, he's kind of known for having that weird, quirky, he kind of talks like this, kind of thing going, and so that guy kind of looks like him, and he kind of has the same kind of vibe as him, so I always call him fake Evan Peters. But I don't know the actor's name, but yeah, he was great in this slimy role. I mean, he was talking so much shit, and Cara Dune just shot him right in the face. I mean, she just popped her right in the head. That caught me off guard. I was like, damn, okay, all right. She did not take that very well. They take him, they go meet up with Bo-Katan and her two Mandos. There's tension there. Because it's easy to forget, Bo knows what Boba Fett really is. Bo knows he's a clone, and Bo doesn't actually consider him an actual Mandalorian because it doesn't matter. He's like, oh, your father might have been an actual Mandalorian, but you are a clone of him, which means you're not really real. You're just a clone. You're just not a real person. And he's calling her princess, and he's basically like, we don't need them. And there's instant tension in that room. And then even a mini fight breaks out between him and Sasha Banks' character, who's with Bo-Katan, and it's almost a stalemate to show that yeah, man, because and it makes sense because you never actually seen Boba Fett fight another Mandalorian. Every time, even in the EU, as far as I know, all the ass he kicked wasn't another Mandalorians. It was just fucking scum. It was scum and other scum and stuff. it's easy to whoop a bunch of stormtroopers ass, but they were on a deadlock. Like, it was like, oh shit, man, this is going down. And like in that room was very cool because if you ever watch Clone Wars, you know that Mandalore is a very, very, very divided place, man. Like, there are people, like, everyone has their own, like, all these clans have their own ideas, have their own agendas, have their own thoughts on how things should be done. Now they will abide to whoever the ruler is. Genuinely speaking, you know, Death Watch. That, you know, if you know Death Watch, then you know that that wasn't always the case. They will generally speaking, listen to who's the head, but they all have their own ideas. So in that room with those 4 Mandalorians, seeing how tense it was, how Mando doesn't really give a rat's ass about any of this stuff. Not really. He just wants to save the kid. How Boba kind of like, he's just like, kind of looks at them like with his face of just like how you guys like, Boba looked at Bo-Katan and Sasha Banks' character like, y'all bougie as fuck. It's like, man, fuck all that stuff. He was like, man, y'all treat me like I'm not even a real fucking Mandalorian. Y'all got all this crap. Who cares about all that? Like, there's all these tensions in that room. And you know, there could be something done with that as well. Needless to say, they come up with the plan, they go into the ship, they take over the ship. Mando has a cool battle with Moff Gideon, the girls, Finnick and Bo-Katan and all of them, they screw things up. You really don't see Boba Fett do much in this episode other than, you know, help them get in the ship and kind of fly off. Like, I suppose what he was doing was he's supposed to drop them off, take off, come back around and pick them up. But we didn't see that part. We just saw him take off because a lot of stuff happened after that. The Luke thing happened after that. And, you know, and these are the threads they really set up in this episode, and I'm going to end you with this. What will Luke Skywalker training Baby Grogu, and will we ever see Baby Grogu meet Mando again? How big of a time jump is this next season going to be? We have to wait and see that. And will Mando become the leader of Mandalore? Because as it turns out, when Mando beat Moff Gideon and took the Darksaber off of him, he became the rightful like, not heir, but he has the claim to the throne. And Bo can't take it from him because he tried to give it to her. But Moff Gideon, once again, you know, trying to seed dissension, trying to seed, you know, whatever he can, pretty much laid it out flat, was just like, no, she can't take that from you. She has to beat you in battle for it. And that's the only way she can take it. You have a claim to Mandalore now. So now they put that on the table. Is Mando going to become the new Mandalore? And you even got to see Mando's face near the end when Luke Skywalker showed up, and he felt like he was gonna, he didn't, you know, he cares about this kid. He doesn't want to lose this kid. So, you know, he took his helmet off and the kid touched his face and then went on with Luke Skywalker and R2-D2. Yes, R2-D2 was there too. And they went off, and we don't know what happened after that. Another thing they set up was a post-credit scene. Yes, this episode has a post-credit scene. It's in old Jabba's palace. What's his name? I can't remember his name, but one of Jabba's old associates is now running the palace. Like, and you know it when you see him. You know if you've seen Return of the Jedi, you know who it is. He's running the palace now. He's the king. He's now a crime lord. He's ascended to the crime lord position Jabba was. And goddamn, Finnick and Boba just come in that bitch, kill everybody, kill him, and take the throne. And it seems like they're setting up Boba Fett being a crime lord, and all you see is the Book of Boba Fett coming December 21st, 2021, which made me go, so either, because like they already said that Mando will be returning on December 21st, in December of next year, which made me go, okay, either Boba Fett's coming either Boba Fett is like it's like a mini little thing, like it's either Boba Fett's a movie or it's a tiny little series that's just kind of, a tiny little series is going to happen before Mando, and then we're going to get right into Mandalorian. Either one or the other. Because I'm like, damn, wait, they're both coming out at the same time, but it is a cool looking thing. Like, it really set up to being a crime lord in the underbelly. Like, I can't wait to see that. This episode was fun, dude. I just, like, literally, it was one of those episodes you see. It's one of those seasons or episodes of any show that you see, and your mind is just swirling with thoughts, and you just want to, you have to talk about it. Like, I really didn't even plan on talking about it right now. I was going to wait till later or another day. But I just had to, man. It was too much. I had to talk about it, man. But yeah, I give this episode a 9 out of 10. I I had a ton of fun with this, man. It's not perfect. The CGI on Luke is a bit wonky. Like, it's not terrible. It's not like Tarkin bad, because clearly they had Mark Hamill actually, you know, on set so they could actually, you know, do some stuff. So it's not Tarkin, you know, it's not Grand Tarkin, even though some people didn't even mind that. But it's not Tarkin bad. It's not like completely, it's better than Leia in Rogue One, because I think you guys remember that Leia had, like, they had that scene with Carrie Fisher with Leia, like, a young face over her. It's better than that. How about that? It's not as bad. It's better than that, but it's not quite as great as it could be. I honestly thought they were gonna do the whole Sebastian Stan thing, because I think they do look very similar, and I think you could pull that off. I think Sebastian Stan has the acting chops to do so. But no, they brought Mark Hamill back. They made him look younger, and I was like, yo, man, this is crazy. I can't believe they did that. I was like, wow. Anyways, thank you guys for being Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.